honor to be here with you all.
We love you!
I love you too. To be introduced by one of my baby sisters. Amani and I go way back, and I didn't know she was introducing me, and so when she got introduced herself, I said to Aisha, who works with me, did you know she's like one of my little sisters? Inherent obligation as humans. We strive to find commonality in the face of our differences. That's what each of you is doing at this forum. You met someone new and you learned something about them. But the challenge of building community in our nation and in our world is colossal. And we could not do it alone. 2,500 years ago in Athens, Solon, a Greek lawmaker, stated, wrongdoing can only be avoided if those who are not wronged feel the same indignation at it as those who are. Today, we are making the same decision. Are we the perpetrators of a false democracy in which the strong, the rich, the wise survive, and the weak, the poor, the oppressed, the disinfected suffer in the perennial battle for justice? Or will we continue to fight for unity and justice? Look, I know it's tiring. With so much happening every day, it seems like we are at a battle. Our resentment for wrongdoing becomes distaste, our distaste becomes disappointment, and eventually avoidance. But we must find strength in one another. There is energy in our unity, power in our voice. This is a great task because we are combating centuries of hate and reshaping our societal outlook by crafting an inclusive democracy. And we should consider ourselves blessed to be in a position of influence where we can make such difference. When I'm overwhelmed by the daunting task, I remember people who get me through each day. I'm inspired by the actions of my daughter Isra, who's leading her peers, meeting with legislators, and really showing me up on this whole organizing thing. She reminds me why we must dedicate our lives to public service and the betterment of those without. Second, I'm inspired by the memory of my grandfather. I remember in the refugee camp, he would hope aloud what was to come, the possibility of a free existence, manifesting as the beautiful concept of a democratic participation. And third, I'm inspired by you, each one of you in this room. You get what you organize for. And the only way we are going to achieve the America we deserve is by co-governing with the movements that put us in office. That's why groups like My Squad, Take Action Minnesota, and Iowa CCI Action are so important, because they are building a permanent movement. We cannot govern alone. We have to work in strong alignment with the progressive movements in order to make sure that our policies are grounded in the challenges that people we represent have. And that's why we're seeing people across this country rise up and demand change at every level of government. All this is just the beginning. we will continue to fight for justice every single day. To build a more connected society, we must use all of our resources to uplift one another so that we can collectively benefit. That's the type of leadership we need to demand of our next president. What we need is a president who recognizes that we are not just fighting for one election. We are fighting for the very soul of our democracy and what society we want to become. That climate change is an existential threat to humanity and will propose policies that will meet the scale of the challenge. We need a president who will implement a Green New Deal. We also must demand that we have a president who recognizes that every day people in this country are dying because they can't afford health care, while healthcare insurance companies rake in millions of dollars profiting off of our pain. We need a president who will implement Medicare for all. We also must make sure that we get a president who recognizes the cruelty of an education system that saddles students with $1.6 trillion in student debt, while the richest of 1% of our country own $30 million in wealth, $30 trillion in wealth. And finally, we must get a president who seeks to make America great by recognizing that America needs to be a beacon of hope and be in leadership in the world by leading by example. A president who recognizes that we must show care and concern to our children and not cage them. A president that recognizes that there are diplomacy channels that we must seek and not place sanctions that cripple the economies of the countries around the world. We must make sure that we get a president that recognizes that we have to end endless wars because the money that we spend on that is money that needs to be invested in our country. And we must get a president that recognizes human rights is not just a statement, but it is something that you push for regardless of who is perpetuating it around the world. So I call on you to action. Build community, talk to people, visit with them, broaden your coalitions of love and acceptance. To bridge the seemingly growing divide, we must see each other's struggles as our own, their successes and failures as our own. Remember this, we are attempting to undo centuries of systematic inequality perpetuated by ignorance. It is possible, but it will take a long time. This is a multi-generational project, but we do not underestimate the power of a human connection, and we do not estimate the power of the generation to come. We are who we've been waiting for.